Hi, and welcome to Bethany's Youth Ministries. This is Naomi, and I'm hosting tonight's Hot Seat, Open Table, Black Table, Real Talk Table. It's a table, okay, guys? Today I have 3 lovely people with me. They're here to give their real insight on the topics of today.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie.
My name is Will.
Ralph Gentine.
Tonight's talk is relationships. All right, so let's kick it off. Something simple. Do you think social media ruins a relationship?
Oh, definitely. You were to put a picture up, but you don't even know if it's really what it's, going on in the real life. It could be all, holding hands and, lovey-dovey, kissy-dovey, but in the real, you guys are going through a lot. Like, I would just keep it private.
I don't know. I just find it funny that people base their relationships off of memes and pictures and quotes about what a relationship is supposed to be like. But at the end of the day, some of that stuff is not realistic. These things work.
I know, Ralph, you're married.
Right.
So did you slide through the DMs?
Never. Me? I'm Mr. Faithful. Do I feel like social media ruins relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think holistically it's not healthy. It could be distracting, whether you're married or not. When I was courting my wife, Facebook was like the first social media that was going on. And even then, people were getting in trouble with social media. So I don't think it's healthy.
How do you think Christians in today's society should start a relationship?
Okay, Oprah.
Because in social media, your business is out there.
Correct.
So how do you talk to somebody without having others know about it? Like, you're in a Christian relationship, so you shouldn't be of the world.
I would say this, the whole purpose of social media or Instagram, for example, is for marketing purposes. It's really based on what is discussed between the two parties. If it's a form of encouragement, right, to other Christian couples or other upcoming couples, then yeah, fine.
Say you talking to somebody,
Why
right?
are you looking at me though?
Because you right in my area. All right, so say you talking to somebody, right? What's a deal breaker?
Definitely for me.
Can't smoke. Don't
That's
smoke.
a big one.
Get out of here with that.
Smoke either. I can't stand that.
Definitely a deal
like
breaker. You cannot be unreasonable. You can't be impatient, and you gotta be able to communicate. I don't like people who don't like to communicate.
I'm learning how to communicate right now.
That's good. You need that before you get into marriage.
Like a professional.
So you married. How did you know?
How did I know?
What made you say, all right, cool, I want to like this?
I felt like a sense of peace, to be honest. A lot of times people be like, oh, I got a word, or I had a vision, a dream. Nah, I just...
Yeah, but what was that peace? That's so general and cliche, I have a peace, but what is that peace actually?
I'm trying not to because we're Christians, right?
Yeah, this is supposed to be a Christian talk.
A Christian talk. We courted, right? And it's not easy for a Christian to be in a relationship, period. Why?
For temptation.
Bong. I always feel like kissing leads to everything. That's what was happening with us, right? Number one, I was already committed from the get, and we built on that. So we started as friends first. When we went from friends, we courted.
So when you're in a relationship and you're courting with somebody, a lot of people say, oh, I can't touch you, or oh, I can't kiss you, because that leads
That's
to...
not realistic.
Okay, so here's my thing though. What boundaries? Do you set boundaries when you're courting?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
if there's no
you...
boundaries, y'all are falling regardless.
All right,
what are the boundaries?
What are your boundaries?
You can't hold the person's hands. You can't touch the person's shoulder
You know yourself.
Like
you know yourself what you can handle. If you can't handle, if you can't handle being with that person by yourself because you know how you are and you know how the other person is, then don't put yourself in that position. Don't set yourself up.
Well, the type of person that I am as a female, I always want to hold hands and
there's nothing wrong with that
and stuff like that. But I don't think that's gonna lead to anything.
Above that, have you been in a relationship?
Of course I've been in a relationship. That's what I'm saying. If I was to hold a person's hand,
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
remember.
jump.
Duh.
Wow.
Oh my God, you're gonna put my business out.
All right. But besides the fact, regardless if I'm holding your hand or not, you still have to place boundaries regardless.
Of
You're
course.
courting. You don't want to do anything that's going to lead to fornication.
Right.
So, what kind of boundaries?
Don't set yourself up.
All right, don't set yourself
Simple.
up. So, what would you say? What kind of boundaries would you?
What kind of boundaries am I setting?
Yeah.
I think it's different for everyone because she just stated that she has no problem holding hands and nothing would happen, but another person is different. Once they're touched,
That's what they
Exactly.
mean.
Melt.
That's what they mean.
Time
You know what I'm
time
saying?
out.
Yeah, but I was trying to gather that from my partner. I would listen, you know, what's your sweet spot and stuff like that. But if I know his sweet spot, I'm not gonna go over there and like, you know, touch it and like, you know, tease him. I'm gonna at least hold, because I like being affectionate. I like holding the person and stuff like that. I can't hold a person's hand.
You could do that.
I can't hug the person. I can't show them like, you know, I'm affectionate.
There's absolutely nothing
I
wrong with
know
that.
where to
If y'all
set
can
the
handle
limit.
it.
I'm not gonna put him in a position where he's gonna fall, but at least, you know, that's how I feel. I like to.
That's good though. That's
All right,
good.
so here's my question though, because I know some Christians do it before. Would you kiss the person?
Absolutely. Yes.
You will kiss the person?
Yes.
All the time.
Because I know I can handle it.
All the time.
On the first date, would you kiss the person?
On
Would
the
you go
first
out
date?
and make
On the
out with
first
that
date,
person?
okay, I feel like
How long
I mean,
that's too soon on the first
that's
date.
very
That's
soon,
too
yeah.
soon. But like, you're gonna
Thirsty mode.
I barely know
you
you.
don't, but the thing is, you don't want to act thirsty.
Right.
So how
wanna
long
be
would you
modest.
wait? Another 2 days or so?
What?
I'm gonna wait until like you don't force stuff like that. It comes naturally.
It comes
right,
naturally, but
yeah.
at the same time, you're gonna okay. After 3 days, I'm gonna.
You're not calculating though.
I'm
You
not
drop them home.
calculating,
When you
but-
drop them home, good night.
But when you're
Had
in
a
the
good time.
moment, you
Okay,
can't.
but
Even if it's the first day, when you're in the moment, you can't help it.
Right, that's the comfortability that I'm talking
That's
about.
why we have
That's the naturalness I'm
boundaries.
talking about.
That's why we have boundaries. What boundaries did you hold when you were courting?
For me, while my wife and I were courting, I would say kissing, right? And of course, there's two types of kissing, right?
Right.
Which is,
Cheek.
Lips and
Bijou.
tongue.
I would say the lips and the tongue, right? I always felt like, as the leader of the relationship, that kissing always led to everything.
Yeah.
Period. Point blank. And of course, no, baby, no, it's not. I was like, all right, okay, because we know, and stuff like that. Once you
Speaking of that, because I don't want to lose this point.
Yeah.
If kissing could lead to anything or whatever,
right?
would you put that on the same category as like something like oral sex or
That's beyond that. to
or
be
something
honest.
like you understand what I'm trying to say? Like this is what I mean by setting yourself up.
You just set yourself up.
You did.
When you kissing, you get hot, right? Depending on if you can handle it or not, you get hot, right? When you do other stuff, obviously it can lead to actual, intercourse, like actual sex, right? So, wouldn't you put kissing on the same level as that? This is what I'm talking about by setting yourself up.
Right.
Right now, you go, you chill with them, their parents are not home, right?
But where are you when you're chilling with that person?
So you mean
These are the boundaries. Right now, this is where boundaries come into play. If you can handle being with that person, you have self-control, you have discipline, cool.
Right.
But if you don't,
you don't put yourself in that position.
Exactly.
You don't go to
Don't
their
bother.
house. You don't walk around with booty shorts in the person's house. You know what
Facts.
I mean?
Yeah.
So it does. But
Cats
I
be
really
playing
want to go
themselves.
back to what were you saying?
What I was saying is,
get you, though.
I
I
firmly
get you.
believe whether you're a Christian or not, save Holy Ghost, it doesn't matter. Once you kiss, it leads. I'm not gonna touch my sister. Once you tongue kiss, right? It's always gonna lead to touching, and the touching leads to different parts of the body. And when it gets to those certain parts,
And now you're getting closer to my point now.
right.
Continue.
That's why when I was, when my wife and I were recording, I was like, chill, we can't do this, to the point where we had to say to ourselves, okay, so the next step is marriage. That's how we knew. I was working, she was working. There was really no excuse for us not to get married, even though we were young. We already had peace. Everything was already there. So that was the next step. Everything else after that was really faith.
you did that because you felt like if you didn't do that, you would have fell, and it would have been a bad outcome out of that.
Well, really, because our relationship with Christ came first. Look, the word of God goes, I think my man Paul gave a great advice. It's better
Yes. Keep
for you
going.
not to marry. It's good for you not to marry. I understand that now. Being married. But if you can't handle,
It's better for you, not to burn. It's better for you to marry than not to
passion,
burn.
exactly.
Right.
If the passion is that you can't handle it, then go ahead and
then
get
go
married.
ahead and get married.
That's
and
tough,
that's
though.
what
That's
we
tough.
did.
All right, so this question's for anybody. How do you advise a guy to shoot his shot to a girl he's interested in?
Speak up.
How do you?
No.
Speak
up. The guy needs to speak up. He needs to speak up.
I was like, what are you telling me?
He's right. I was gonna say what not to do.
Basically, mete gasto su.
Right.
Yes, I was gonna say what not to do. Don't ask her friend to be like, yo, can you talk to? That's like
Yeah,
the
that's
none of that.
worst
None of that.
thing
That's a
you
turn
can
off.
do.
That's a turn off.
You got him out.
That's elementary. How do you deal with being content while single?
Keep yourself busy. Like, you know, continue to hang out with your girls if you're a female. Continue to hang out with the guys if you're a guy and stuff like that. Try to find a hobby.
I learned you need to learn how to be very comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, consent.
You need to love yourself and understand, you know, your own value. Because if you don't understand and know how valuable you are, nobody else is going to.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
I want to chime into that. I would say, correct. I agree with you, but I would definitely be happy with being single.
Right.
Because there's a lot of married people who would want to
Go back to being single.
No, it's because once you get yourself into a relationship, you can sometimes get lost in
Enjoy your
yourself,
singleness.
right? And sometimes you pick up habits from the other person without you knowing.
Right.
Just be strong and pure with who you are before you get into a relationship. Just enjoy yourself.
Right.
When you're single, be selfish. That's the only time for you to be selfish.
Exactly.
The selfishness does not exist in a relationship.
Go out, travel, because once you're married, that's a wrap, right?
You can still travel when you're married. And
Oh,
stuff
with
like
the
That's
kids
a
and stuff
wrap.
like that.
That's
So
That's
no
why-
more babysitting and stuff
No,
like
there's
that.
still babysitting. That's why you have sisters and family members.
Exactly. So he says,
All right. So 2018 was definitely the year for me in my singleness.
Huh.
It's not like
For how
likes
long?
or
Like-
whatever. No, okay. So I always felt like you always needed somebody to make you happy. I never knew how to make myself happy.
Talk about
So
it.
end of 2017, I committed myself to myself. I was exploring, I was learning new things that I didn't even know about myself.
Exactly.
You know, and now I'm very content. Like, I don't need somebody to make me. No one's gonna
Yeah, so many
define my
people, they need
happiness.
people to
make
feel,
them
to make them
happy, yeah.
feel
I
like
think a lot of
happy
people need to
and
and
hear that
content complete.
because-
You don't need that.
Right, because you could be broken and get yourself into a relationship and it's just a whole
another ball game.
mess.
It's ridiculous when you just got a relationship and you're in a relationship like less than
Right.
5 months later.
Right, and that's why now
You don't even have time to
feel-
repair after what you just went
Exactly.
through.
Correct, yeah.
And you
that's
bring
why
all that
I-
baggage
oh,
into
gosh.
that relationship.
Okay. That's why I feel like now, if I were to get in a relationship, I'll be okay because at least I know he's not making me happy because I was already happy coming into the relationship.
Right.
Like, I found myself, like, I'm going to bring even more to the relationship now that I know who I am because I've been selfish all these years.
Good.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean?
That's how it should be.
Question. This is real off topic. What's like the biggest things that single people in church are faced with? As far as like, do you feel like there's more females in church than males, or
Yeah.
I feel
more
like.
females definitely.
in church
Yeah.
than
How do you
males.
feel about that?
I mean, there's not a lot of good single Christian men out there. I don't know because sometimes you can be coming into a church and you're single, and then half the congregation's also single and they're women, and then the little bit of the guys that are actually single,
They
kinda-
all talk to them
They're
already.
talking to somebody, you know. So
So.
Go
Go there.
So you just said something, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just said that sometimes, most of the time, they're already talking with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if they break up? Is it okay for you to avail yourself to them?
Of course, because if God said that
How
that
soon?
person
How
is
soon
for
after?
you,
How soon after?
it doesn't even matter.
It does.
relationship.
So there's no girl code or guy code?
Not-
Because church is like...
Not in my book.
Let's keep it 100.
They're
It's
Not in my
savage.
book.
Savage.
So you gotta just snatch them, right?
That's not true, but if
'Cause
you
she's a
know
savage.
for sure, that's the person that God ordained for you, I would take it no matter who the person is.
Okay.
Because you were never supposed to go out with the person anyway, in the first place.
Wow. Okay.
Am I wrong for that?
I didn't say you were wrong. I didn't say you were right. It's your opinion.
Of course, it is my
It's your
opinion.
opinion.
Oh, and
It's
for the
your opinion.
BYM, you're not destined to be with somebody from Bethany. You're not.
Right. So, what kind of advice would you give a female that's trying to approach you?
Definitely take your time,
Mm-hmm.
right? You could be rushing into something that's not good for you. It might look good at the moment, but it may not end up being good for you. It's not what you. It might be what you want, but not what you need. I don't know how many times I can say this. You don't look thirsty and you don't look fast if you show interest in a guy. Because having him out here looking confused is only gonna mess you up at the end of the day.
Yes,
Especially if you
I
like
agree.
them. You're gonna be the one that's hurt because he's not getting those signs. He's assuming that you're not interested because you're not showing any type of interest. So, show something, do something, flirt back, something.
But what is too much flirting, or like what's the way for us to let you know that we're interested but not going too far?
You tell me.
Let's say we were in service out. You looked at me. We made eye contact. Would it be too much if I was to wink at you or something like that?
That's
too
That's
much.
a lot.
That's a lot for a guy.
Yeah, don't
To
wink,
wink?
because
No.
I'm gonna run. No, don't wink. No. Now you look crazy.
Yeah,
Okay, so
you can say hi to me after service.
And advice that I would give, to anyone who's not, I would say this: enjoy your singleness. That's number one. And when you're ready to, get into a relationship, approach the person the right way, communication, and when you guys, I guess, come into a place where you're ready to be in a relationship, look for guidance. Foundation based on the both of you guys doing Bible study and praying together, because that's something that you're going to do for the rest of your life.
That's
I agree.
so
Deep.
good.
That's something that you're going to teach your kids. That's a lifestyle. From there, everything will follow. I always go back to the word. I'm not trying to sound preachy. The word of God says, seek ye first the kingdom and everything else will follow.
Facts.
And if you do that, man,
yeah, everything will fall into place.
correct.
Literally.
There you have it, guys. Our panelists definitely had some experiences that we could all relate to, and maybe some things that we were confused on. All in all, we know that once we keep God first, everything will fall into place. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on our social media at BYM_NYC on Instagram and Bethany Youth Ministries on Facebook. Thank you guys for watching, and see you soon.